And then I have no time to think. And ultimately I'm working late nights and I'm working weekends and I'm updating pipeline on a Sunday, like right before the forecast. I've just, as I've gotten busier, I've definitely fallen into that trap. And what I really like about this system is it forces you to think like you're the CEO of your territory.
So here we are, episode 2. It's an official thing now.
That is.
If you have 2 episodes, you're an official thing.
I actually heard that 90% of podcasts don't get past their first episode. If you get past 21 episodes, you're in the top 1% of podcasts.
Oh, I love. Now we have a goal.
We have to hit 21.
We have a goal. We have to hit 21.
22.
We have to be of age.
That's
right.
right.
To be of age.
That's right.
For our podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when our podcast reaches drinking age in the US,
yeah.
then we have a real podcast.
Then
I'm glad we have a target. That's great.
There you go.
And that's a perfect way for us to introduce this topic, because we're going to be talking about targets and 2026 fiscal year success right now.
Yep.
That's what this episode is going to be all about, people, especially our Microsoft sellers out there. When we talk about this podcast, we are on a Microsoft specific sales team. Daniel and I both work at the same company at RSM, and we're aligned to the same calendar year as far as selling that Microsoft is. And that means starting each year on July 1st.
Yep.
Oh, this is, if you're thinking about a normal year and it's January and that's when people make their New Year's resolutions, Microsoft sellers and partners make their New Year's resolutions coming up at the end of June and beginning of July.
That's right. July, everything changes. I was a Microsoft seller for 5 years, so I know when you finally crush Q4, finish up in June, July, it's a brand new year, account transitions. You might have new accounts, you might have complete changes, as was this year. I know there's a huge reorg.
We might as well talk about the elephant in the room.
If you're still a Microsoft seller, congratulations.
Yeah.
But the changes are exciting, and I think Microsoft's really, really well positioned to I think destroy this year. And I think we're in a really good space to be in, like being a Microsoft partner. As you mentioned, like RSM we do a lot of things. We're a tax audit firm, but within consulting, we have a Microsoft practice, which is about $280 million a year. And we are solely focused on selling Microsoft solutions across the stack. So business applications, Power Platform, the whole Microsoft stack. And we're off and running too. This is like the beginning of the year for us. So we're excited.
I mean, you and I have spent basically the better part of 2 full days in the last 2 weeks planning, just making sure that we're setting up systems and things that make sense, so that when you and I are working together, because we're often selling on the same deals together and helping each other and co-selling, that we have systems set up that support us. Since we don't have a whole team of virtual assistants, we are actually using that Microsoft technology wherever we can, whether it's using Planner or using Loop or using just little things like Outlook tasks and reminders in order for us to stay on target with our deals and make sure that we're following up with our Microsoft people, make sure that they have what they need.
Yeah.
It's a good time of the year to do that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's easy to, like being a Microsoft seller, you have 80, 90 accounts sometimes. Maybe sometimes you have less, but it's easy to just become responsive. Oh, I got a deal coming in here, I'm going to work it. I got a deal coming in here, I got to work it. I should prospect into this account. But systematizing everything, if that's a word, it's so essential to make sure you're focusing on the right areas. And as sellers, we really have 2 jobs. Job number 1 is to build pipeline. Job number 2 is to accelerate pipeline. So move the deals forward. If you can create systems around both of those motions so that you don't even have to think, you're just like, hey, I'm in my prospecting mode right now. I'm doing this and this. I'm following a plan. I'm in my accelerating deal mode right now. I'm doing this and that. That's the way to operate. And I think that's the only way to scale. Maybe we can talk about
with that many accounts, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about some of the things that we set up. You've been incredible at in terms of organizing things, using Planner, and would love for you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're experimenting too, right? Like a lot of Microsoft, just because you work at Microsoft or you're a Microsoft partner doesn't mean you know everything about all of the different applications, which I feel like we all know that. And ourselves, but sometimes I feel like we forget that other people also don't know everything about it. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I always feel like, the Microsoft people, as well as some of the SSPs we work with and TAMs and things like that, that they must know everything about every single application. And they know about their specific area, be able to help customers, but it doesn't mean for their own productivity that they've mastered all the different things that they could be doing.
Yep.
And layered on top of that is Microsoft has such a cool ecosystem that there are lots of different ways you could go about it.
Yep.
None of them are 100% right. It depends on your style, what your job function is, what works well for you. Some people like to be very granular. Other people like broad brushstrokes. For you and I, we did that exercise where we went through and we looked at, there's a seller Daniel and I both know, Jay on our team, famous for being amazingly organized. Like he's just really good at it and always seems calm and collected. And it just seemed like a really good North Star for Daniel and I to move towards. And he shared a list actually that he goes through to make sure that he's staying on track in our specific business at RSM to make sure that all the different teams are getting what they need and the client is as well, and everything stays aligned.
Yep.
And so Daniel and I took some time to put that together. Daniel made this amazing Excel sheet that had all these different things. And then we put our own spin on it for how we work. Some things expanded others.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, what I loved, Daniel, was that you took a run at it with all of your deep knowledge of knowing how to use Copilot and use AI in general to make workflows and to make prompts that maybe could combine steps or make it faster and more efficient. And so you going through that list then, and then combining those things and tagging where those prompts could go, even if you had to create them or customize them, that was a really useful exercise for me.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think just to elaborate, and I think this is helpful to the salespeople that are right now just starting their year. Pretty much what Jay gave us was a system for moving deals forward. Every step, like a checklist. So you don't miss a step, so you operate every deal with excellence. That's what he gave us. And what we did was we systemized that within Microsoft Planner. So now whenever we're working a new deal, we clone that plan and we have every step that we need to do. And like, for example, in the first step, it's all about qualifying a deal. So we have to run our independence check. We have to research the account, develop a point of view, align the internal team, like all those steps. Typically in the past, that would need to be manual. We look through the website, we spend like a week getting everybody aligned. Now I have this massive research and point of view prompt using AI that I can do in Copilot Researcher. So that's part of our step. We take that prompt, we run it. You can build that, put that together into a deck. Then we can take that deck, and if we're partnering with a Microsoft rep on that, we bring that to the Microsoft meeting and we're super aligned. This is what the account does. Here's how it makes money. Here's the perspective that we're going to bring. Here's the opportunity, all that stuff. So it's been a powerful thing. And I think the takeaway for this is you're in the start of the year. You're in this planning mode. Most of the time we'll create a plan and then forget it. Like a month later, you're never looking at that plan again. Like, it's more about and I've done this like all the time, create an awesome plan and forget it. Rather than thinking about creating a plan, create a system. Like we are creating an operating system this month on how we move deals forward and how we build pipeline. And that system has every step in it, and it's using AI as part of it to streamline the process. And I think it's going to be a very valuable exercise, and it's going to help us scale throughout the year. And make sure
I'm excited about it too. And this is our V1. So we get the Excel into Planner. Now we know how to clone it. What's nice about that is it syncs up with, as you and I found out this morning and kind of got nerdily excited about, is that it shows up in the to-dos sidebar in Outlook itself, which you and I as Microsoft shop, we're using Outlook a lot. And so it's right there. We can click on it and it knows what's in our plan and what's coming up so that we can stay on top of it too. Because that's the other thing is you have these lists, but sometimes you get distracted and you're not sure which list and where you're at on which list. And this really helps keep it in sync. That way you and I know what we're doing and what each other have done as well by assigning those tasks to each other.
Yep.
I'm looking at even as we move forward, that's our V1. Our V2 might be that we're going to include Loop as well, which will suck in some of that stuff from Planner and then also allow us to collaborate and brainstorm, work with other teams, know where people are collaboration wise, all that kind of stuff. So it's a journey. You don't have to be good at everything right away. Like just start. If you and I had just run with the Excel checklist, that would have been better than operating out of just people fill up your calendar with stuff and it just feels you're on Tuesday. On Monday, you felt like you had everything in control. On Tuesday, it feels like your calendar is all out of control again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we're not the only ones that like you on Sunday, you pull up your calendar and you're looking at the week and you're like, when am I actually going to have time to get the stuff that I need to get done? Because your calendar's super scattered. And
Yeah.
we were just talking about what is our weekly operating system? Like, how do we run our weeks? What do we do on Mondays versus Tuesday through Thursday versus Friday? Like, how does the high performer think about his time and think about operating their day? And I really liked what we mapped out. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where our brain is at as well. Like I said, with our Microsoft sellers, it's just like, how do we set it up now? And you're not going to a lot of times be able to implement this like the week that you're in, because your calendar is already is what it is. You can take this and start to move it into how you schedule blocks of time for productivity and really be selfish about it, is what I'm having to learn. Is yeah, there's always going to be other people, internally, especially wherever you work, that want to put time on your calendar, and it's with the best of intentions. But as Daniel said at the beginning, you have two main jobs as a seller, and those are your focus. Hitting quota and making sure that you're helping your customers get what they need. That's your focus. And so the optimal rhythm, weekly rhythm for sales success, I did a bit of a deep dive, and after talking with Daniel as well and how he was so successful as a Microsoft seller, is what is the high performing A sellers, what does their week look like? How do they structure? And what came up again and again was the following kind of format, which was they broke it up into basically 3 sections. But it was really the 3 sections were Monday and Friday, and then everything in between. Mondays were all about planning and analysis and setting themselves up for success. Tuesdays through Thursdays were all about client engagement. And then Friday was about administration and planning for the following week to be successful. Those were the big 3 themes that came up. And there was a couple suggestions of time blocks you can do for yourself, which you can make recurring meetings, is what I'm doing, and then have them time blocked and just be really selfish about them. Somebody wants to talk to you about something they feel is really important, they can absolutely do that, but it can't be during that time. That's just the way that it is. Obviously, there's going to be exceptions to every rule, because if your boss's boss says they need to meet with you right now, you're probably going to make that happen.
Yeah, you got to play the game. You got to play the game.
There's always that. But that being said, Mondays, if you can leave like an hour right at the beginning of your day, whatever your day starts, maybe you need to do it a little bit before if meetings do start pretty early for you. But you have a meeting either with yourself, or if you're on a small team, like Daniel and I co-sell a lot together. So we're going to do these meetings together, but have a team meeting to review your previous week's performance metrics and set targets and key performance indicators for that week.
Mm-hmm.
And you maybe use the same 3 to 5 slides, whatever CRM you're using. You should be using D365, but you're using something else. Yeah. You look at that and okay, what's going on right now? What's the snapshot? Where are deals at? What stage are they in? Can we work together to figure out what you want to go forward and what is going to be the emphasis this week? Then separately, a second block of time during that day where as an individual, you analyze those insights and data that you worked on together, and then plan for those high value prospects and things that you want to get done for that Tuesday through Thursday are already on the calendar with the new information that you've gleaned.
Yep.
And then Tuesday through Thursday, all about client engagement. Everyone who's a seller that's listening to this knows what client engagement is. It's preparing for it's doing all the things, client meetings and demonstrations, product presentations, following up calls with existing clients, document meeting outcomes and next steps, like documenting those kind of things. And then Friday, the end of each week, was about inhaling. It was about taking the breath. You've been exhaling all week. It's about the inhale, so that you can get your administration and your planning done for the next week, which was like a similar session. Update your CRM with your week's activities. That way your sales manager is not on your back.
Yep.
And then review your pipeline, adjust your forecasts from what they were. Schedule a little bit of time for those administrative tasks, those little things that randomize you. Try to batch them all during that time instead of doing them where they take time away from other things you might be doing during the week. And then finally, before you power down for the day, just take a few minutes to prepare your preliminary agenda. You don't have to do everything. Prepare preliminary agenda for your team meeting for the following Monday.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. And I think I really like about this is that I'm notorious for packing my days with meetings, every meeting from 8 to 4. And then I have no time to think. And ultimately, I'm working late nights and I'm working weekends and I'm updating pipeline on a Sunday, like right before the forecast. I've just, as I've gotten busier while at RSM, I've definitely fallen into that trap. And what I really like about this system is it forces you to think like you're the CEO of your territory. And
Yeah, I love that.
first thing on Monday, you're the CEO, you've got your book of business. So take a look at your book of business first thing Monday. What are the deals in your pipeline? What are the prospecting activities that we're doing? Where are we at with every deal? Pull your entire team into a call and say, here's where we're at, guys. And here's what we're trying to accomplish as
I
a
love it.
unit. I'm not an individual seller. We're going to win here as a team. And I love that. Get everybody on the same page. Then you got your follow-on. Everybody's aligned. You don't have to send off one-off meetings to give everybody updates on deals or anything like that. You get everybody on the same page. Later that day, you look at your calendar for the rest of the week. You prep your meeting. You set your intentions. You're all ready. Then you're good. That's Monday. Tuesday, you're off and running. You're having client calls. You're executing. And then Friday, I love what you said around the inhale. You've been exhaling all day. Like now you take an inhale and you're like, okay, cool. Let's update everything. Let's make sure the business is in a good state. Everybody's aligned. And I'm prepped for Monday. We'll see how that goes. I like the
Yeah,
system. We'll see how that.
like we're perfect,
Yeah.
but this is what we're attempting to do because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff together to be able to help each other as well. And
Yeah.
if a lot of you probably listening to this are working on we have a fairly good sized team. We have about 15 people on our larger team and then the larger sales structure on top of that with lots of other teams. But even if you're working with a team of one or two, or if you're working with a larger team as well, like being able to have a structure like this
Mhm.
can really help you stay aligned and let other people know exactly where you're at. It makes you look super shiny. Once you get into the habit of doing this, once you get on your call with your manager and they're like, so where are you at? It's no longer that panic of, oh crap, Sunday night, 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., you have your meeting with your manager and it's where they want to update on your pipeline and everything. Once you get into a habit of making your regular weeks checking this stuff out,
Mhm.
it's just like you're just going to pull up your meeting that you always do and just walk them through it.
Yeah.
No more
System.
stress.
Again, systems. And that's the only way you can scale. That's really the only way you can scale. You have a system for building pipeline. You have a system for moving deals forward. You have the system for reporting on your business. You have a system for how you wake up in the morning and get your mind right. You have a
Mm,
system for how you work with your family. So you don't have to think every time. Like every time
yep.
in the morning, you're like, oh, I got to go get my gym shoes. I got to go make breakfast. What should I have for breakfast? What should I drink? Should I have a green smoothie today or should I just have like a protein shake? Like no thinking, just create the system. Think about it in advance. And I think
Yeah.
that's going to make sure you crush your year and are really set up for success in Q1. And I think what we want to do with our Microsoft sellers is we want to help bring that system to you. So we've developed an entire system around how we're going to engage with Microsoft sellers. And we know that they got their book of accounts of however many accounts. You've got to do your own territory planning. Where are you going to focus?
Mm,
How are you going to prioritize? All those different things. And we've developed a system to help Microsoft sellers do that. So we have a whole territory planning system. We have a system for developing prospecting messages that are really good. We have a system for deploying our team to see like where RSM has relationships, where we can bring warm leads, like all those different things. We did some of that last year, and this year we've just hardened the system even more. So it'll be fun.
yeah. I can't wait for people to the people that we'll be working with, like
Yeah.
it's like they're getting an unfair business advantage because of the fact like we just met with a client this week and Daniel prepared these amazing for their top 3 accounts. Like he did this amazing analysis of all their accounts, but for their top 3 that they
Mhm.
told us that they really wanted deep insights on, he has this amazing set of prompts that he works through. And it's this amazing PDF, like 10 to 12 page document that is just extremely easy to digest, but gives you insights
Mhm.
that you just can't believe as far as your competition for being able to position yourself well as a Microsoft seller. So I'm excited for other people to start seeing those.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole episode on how you use AI in the sales process, in the strategic sales motion. And we're going to use a lot of use cases for Microsoft, obviously, specifically. But yeah, pretty much as a seller, I sat down and I said, what is all the information that I need to know about an account in order to show up like a trusted advisor and win some
Mhm.
business in it? And I sat down and it's like, what do I need to understand at a fundamental level? What do they do? How do they make money? What are their priorities? How does what I sell align to those priorities? What's the prior engagement that we had with them? What's the stakeholder map? So it's like a monster prompt and it's been awesome. So we'll do a deep
Yeah,
dive on that
like
one.
magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that one will be upcoming, but for now, at least, I hope we were able to help our people listening to this, especially Microsoft, but you probably were able to get something out of this no matter where you work or what you're working on.
Yep.
Just systematize, think about what tools you have available. If it's Microsoft, awesome, but there might be other things that you're using. But how could those help you to be able to stay clear and on track and use this time, even if this isn't the beginning of your fiscal year? Maybe it's just time to recalibrate.
Mm-hmm.
How could you get out of the weekly feels like you're being pulled by spaghetti on your calendar to something that is more repeatable and helps you stay productive
Mm-hmm.
and protects your time and helps you accelerate pipeline?
Yeah. And I would say, just as we're closing up, one thing that just came to mind, use AI to help you develop your system. Copilot. And again, mindset wise, is talk to it like it's a person and talk to it like it's a person you hired to help you develop a system. So literally open it up and say, hey, I'm a Microsoft seller and I'm in my new fiscal year. I feel like I've been getting randomized and I have a new book of accounts and I'm really trying to create a system to help me scale this year. I need to create two systems, one for building pipeline, one for moving pipeline forward, maybe one for working with partners effectively. Please help me develop it. Let's work together to develop a system. And you can take this whole podcast transcript and upload it to it if you want to.
There
And
you
then
go.
say, keep me organized and just use it to do that. It's real powerful for that. So hope
Awesome.
that's helpful.
I love that you can just rattle those things off. It's fantastic. All right. All right. That'll be our episode for today. As always, if you want more insights or you are a Microsoft seller and you would like to work with us, you can always check out our info on the podcast notes. Other than that, have a fantastic week hunting and selling, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sir.